Thanks for tuning in to the KRVN Sports Podcast page, your home for all of the local broadcasts produced by KRVN Sports. This page and the playback is brought to you by Hoegemeyer Hybrids, raising the bar on yield performance. For KRVN Sports, I'm Jayson Jorgensen. Broncos legendary linebacker Karl Mecklenburg made a stop in Nebraska over the weekend at the National Tecmo Bowl Tournament. Over the years, Mecklenburg has spoke throughout the country at a number of different events, but he says being asked to show up at a video game tournament is a first.
I have not come to a video game event. I'm actually a professional speaker, so I do about 40 events a year all around the country, and so I've been in Nebraska a number of times, but not for a Tecmo Bowl event.
What'd you think when you got the call for this?
I thought about it and thought it sounded fun and had space on my calendar, so why not?
How about your post-career? I know you mentioned the speaking. I know you're a motivational speaker. What's kind of your message to groups when you go out?
Success is success across the board, whether you're in business, whether you're in relationships, and that's what it's all about. I talk about teamwork, with leadership being the ultimate expression of teamwork. Courage, the courage to try new things, the courage to be decisive. Dedication, which I describe as hard work, constant learning, refusing to quit. Desire, the overriding passion, mission, honesty and forgiveness with yourself and self-evaluation and with others, and goal setting. So a wide variety of things. I throw a lot of stuff at the wall, and it sticks with most people.
Also sounds like you still do a lot of charity work?
I do. I'm involved in a lot of different things. It's a passion of mine. When I try to figure out why God put me where He put me, I think it has something to do with giving back, and so when I can, I do.
How about your career? What was that like to be a Bronco back in the heydays, in the John Elway era?
Yeah, I was very fortunate. John was the first pick of the 1983 draft. I was the 310th pick of that draft, but we were teammates for 12 years, and then John played on, obviously. And it was great to be on that team and be a part of that excitement. I mean, in my 12 years, we had 2 losing seasons. We were always in the mix for the playoffs and the Super Bowl, and it was awesome to play with those guys. When we got there, it was the Orange Crush guys were still there. A lot of the guys that had played in the Super Bowl in 77, 78 there, the Randy Gradishars, the Tom Jacksons, the Louis Wright, those guys, and they took us under their wings and taught us how to win in the NFL and really how to be men, and it was a pretty cool deal.
Not many people are drafted where you were and then end up and have the career that you had. What was your thoughts when you joined the Broncos, and how did you do what you did?
Yeah, I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to make it. I played at the University of Minnesota. There wasn't a whole lot of guys getting drafted out of there. I thought I had a chance, and that was one of the great things about being drafted by the Broncos was Dan Reeves was kind of an underdog guy too when he got in the league, and he made it for the Cowboys, and he was always looking for that that diamond in the rough guy, and fortunately he identified me as that guy.
Talk with Karl Mecklenburg, former Bronco standout, visiting Omaha this week. Your skill set really matched with that defense they ran at the time. I mean, looking back on it, the Broncos were probably a pretty good fit for you.
It really was. I was drafted as a nose guard. I'm a 240-pound nose guard. It's no wonder I'm a 12th round draft pick, right? But they moved me out to defensive end, and a couple years later they taught me how to play linebacker, and then they started moving me around up and down and back and forth, and it was a novel thing. It was something that other teams weren't able to do, and what it did is it made it so the offense couldn't identify what defense we were going to be in, right? Normally they can just watch from the sidelines, see what your substitutions are, and that cuts out about half of your defenses that you can call. So when I was on the field all the time, they had no idea, and actually they'd be under center, and then all of a sudden I'd go down, put my hand on the ground, and I'm a defensive tackle instead of a linebacker, and it messes up all their blocking schemes and their plans.
That had to be a lot, though, for you to remember.
Well, yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, as an inside linebacker, you're supposed to know what everybody else is supposed to do. The memory part wasn't the issue. The being able to do it is the hard thing, right? I knew what to do, and nobody's ever done it before in the NFL, and probably no one will ever do it again because it was the right combination of somebody who had versatility along with a coaching staff that saw value in it, and so they took advantage of my versatility and moved me around. And it wasn't my idea, but it was awesome.
One thing that always struck me back during that time is you guys would get behind, and then you'd find a way to come back. Now, granted, a lot of that was Elway, but the defense had to make some stops, too. I would assume you always felt you were in the game.
No question. If we kept it close, we were going to win, and it was that way throughout. John was amazing with the 2-minute offense, and when Dan was calling the plays, it was 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and then get to the 2-minute part, and it's John calling the plays. So that changed, and it gave us an advantage defensively. You can take more chances if even if you give up a cheap score or whatever, you still got a chance to win at the end. So yeah, we had a lot of confidence throughout the game. It didn't hurt playing at Mile High Stadium either, because the other team's over there sucking on oxygen at the end of the game, and we're still going.
What was that like, being on the sideline watching the drive in the championship game at Cleveland?
Oh, that was my favorite game. That was that was as hostile a crowd as I've ever seen. We went in there; they were throwing dog bones at us all game long. It was crazy. You had to wear your helmet on the sidelines because you're going to get hit by a big old milk bone dog biscuit. Mm-hmm. And to come out of that situation, winning that game, and the drive just tied the game, and we lost the toss, so we had to go out and stop them. And like you said, we were used to doing that and get the ball back, and away they went. And Rich Carlos kicked that kick right over the top of the upright. If the upright would have been taller, it would have hit it, and who knows which way it would have bounced. But the ref said it was good, so it was good. Right.
Well, appreciate the time. I know it's been a while since you played, but an event like today, and I'm sure you get this wherever you go, folks still remember you. You meant a lot to them. That's got to make you feel good.
It does, yeah. It's nice to be recognized for your body of work, and that was a long time ago. I retired in '94, so it's 30 years ago. It's been a while.
That was former Denver Bronco linebacker Karl Mecklenburg, 12th round draft pick, who went on to have a sensational career, 6 Pro Bowls, helped the Broncos to 3 Super Bowls, and was inducted into the Denver Bronco Ring of Honor a long, long time ago. Certainly thank him for his time recently in Omaha. For KRVN Sports, I'm Jayson Jorgensen.